having some hell of a summer.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely got off to a good start so far. It feels good to be back, playing some of the tennis that I know I've been capable of playing. It's been a bit of a rough road the last little while after, reaching my career high about a couple years ago. But definitely feel like I'm on a good path, and always just kept working hard, kept my head down, and hopefully I'll be able to continue results, but also, take some steps forward into territory that I haven't yet been in.
And all three of your titles have come on outdoor hard, so you must love this part of the season.
Yeah, I do. It's definitely been one of my favorite times of the year. There's a lot of, it's hard. I feel like I always dealt well in those conditions. I don't know if it's coming from South Africa and the altitude, but my body's, for the most part, has always been able to, withstand the heat. And obviously, some of these tournament spots during the US summer can get, pretty toasty out there.
You've lost to Sasha Zverev the last couple of times. Why is he so good? What's it like going up against this kid who seems so fearless and has so much game?
He's a big guy. He's got a big serve, and he's very consistent. Moves well from the back, but also hits a big ball from the baseline. So, I feel like when I play him, we often have pretty intense rallies. I'm also kind of, playing kind of similar tennis as well, I guess. Big serve, hitting the ball big from the back. I feel like I maybe come forward a little bit more than he does, but I think what he's done very well is played some of his best tennis when it matters.
Oh, we've had you on a lot this summer on Tennis Channel, and there just seems to be such clarity to your game. I just wonder if at the grand old age of 31, you're playing your very best tennis, or is it ahead of you?
No, I think I'm playing some of my best tennis, and I still feel like there's departments that I can improve on, and maybe spending a little bit of time away, just being injured. Obviously you reflect, and at least I always looking at ways I can improve, and I got back this year, and it's a lot of time on the practice court, and I found myself hitting some of the best balls that I've hit throughout my career, but I wasn't really finding that same form on the match court. And not that I don't work on mental, it's been a huge priority ever since I was a kid, but looking at even more ways and being even more clear on the kind of tennis I'm wanting to be playing, and also just the mentality that I'm trying to take out into the court.
If I can give you one skill set, automatically just stick it into your body right now, would it be mental, emotional, physical, variety, more power, more what?
No, I just think it would be a trust thing. I feel like just trusting myself more, that I've got the shots, that everything that I think that I'd want to do, I've practiced it hard, I've done it before, and against, in the biggest moments against the best guys, sometimes you have a feeling like you need to do a little bit more, but I don't, and that's something that I'm learning. And as I said earlier, one of the parts that I still think that I can do a better job with.
What's been your most satisfying win of this year? Because you've had some beauties.
Yeah, of this year, I'd say actually, one of them, French Open, getting back to the fourth round, beating, Kyle Edmund. It was a very close match, 5 sets.
And Anderson gets it. A battle in 5 sets.
I feel like winning that match and getting through, was definitely very satisfying.
The Wimbledon match, the 5-setter against Sam Querrey?
Yeah, it was tough. I felt I was playing some great tennis, got off to a good start. In the second set, I was holding serve pretty comfortably, and I faced, I had 3 or 4 break points on his serve, and I think I could have done a bit of a better job resetting in that third set. I sort of gave it to him. Obviously, it was a very close fourth set, and sort of ran out of gas a little bit in the fifth. But it was a tough match, but I took a lot of positives, and obviously Sam was playing some great tennis, going on to beat Andy the next round.
What's it like for you playing at the US Open?
I really enjoy playing at the US Open. For me, just the biggest thing that stands out is just the energy, and being in New York, the crowds, the night matches, sort of experience, looking back at my career, quite a few moments that have been, really exciting, from playing that, 5th set breaker, playing under lights, playing, Murray, which I thought, for me was a fantastic match.
You're talking about 2015.
Yeah.
Because you beat Thiem and Murray.
Yeah, it was a great couple matches for me. I'd lost in the round of 16 several times at Grand Slams before, so finally taking that next step was good, and I had my work cut out for me, obviously playing against, Andy.
It's a moment to savor for Kevin Anderson. For the first time in his career, he's moving on to the quarterfinals at a major here at the U.S. Open.
It was a very long match. You know, I definitely look forward to coming back to New York each year.
You had to shut down your season after the U.S. Open last year in October, and you were gone for a while.
Yep.
You've had to do this so many times, Kevin. What have you got in you? Why are you just built to take blows like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, throughout my career, I've definitely had a couple niggles like every tennis player has, but, you know, I was thinking I never really had to take that much extended time off, and, you know, last year, 2016, was the first time I really had to do that, and it was tough. At first, you just, you know, pretty much focused on, you know, the injury, and, you know, you're doing rehab and getting it healthy. Your mind's sort of playing tricks on you, like, you know, what does it feel like being healthy again? And, you know, as time goes, and, you know, fortunately I've got a good team, and I feel like I've got a lot of experience in how to, you know, manage my body. You get better, and then, you know, as I experienced this year, you know, once you've been away from competition for a while, your body can be healthy. You can be playing great tennis on the practice court, but finding that same form on the match court took me a little bit. Can look at a lot of guys, they're playing some of their best tennis well into their 30s. I just, you know, I'm early 30s, so I definitely feel like I've got, you know, hopefully quite a few years left.
You got to the top 10 in 2015.
Yep.
Now in 2017, are you feeling like you're playing as well as you did 2 years ago? Can you play even better?
Yeah, I definitely feel I'm playing as well as I was then, even I think a little bit better. I think, you know, I've also got a bit more experience than I did back then. But, you know, getting top 10, you have to win a lot of matches. You have to be consistent throughout the year. And I feel like in the last few months, definitely have regained just not, you know, my form, but also some of that consistency. My year only started for me in sort of April, so I feel like the last few months have been great. There's days where, you know, you feel it even more than others, and there's days where, you know, maybe losses or maybe you start questioning it. That's where you just have to have trust with it, and you know, take it each day at a time. And I think if I continue doing that, I'm going to give myself the best shot of, you know, hopefully not getting back to top 10, but hopefully getting higher than I was.
You are consistent, and your game is dangerous. It's big. Considering that last year's finalists of the U.S. Open won't even post. You know, Djokovic will miss it. Stan will miss it. I mean, you know, there's been a lot of problems with injury with these guys,
Yeah.
and now you, of all people, are healthy.
Yep.
Can you win a major?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of depth right now. It's, you know, it's a great time to be playing the sport, and it's also a tough time to be playing the sport. And, you know, without a doubt, I know I'm, you know, good enough and can play tennis to beat anybody. And it's about putting together 7 consecutive matches, and that's not easy to do. That's why only such a select few people who have, you know, been able to win Grand Slams. There's a lot of, you know, stuff to deal with from an emotional standpoint. You know, I definitely feel I've, you know, proven it to myself that, you know, I can beat these guys. Obviously, it's very tough, but I feel like if I can take care of the little details, as I said, I'm going to give myself the best chance.
The biggest story of the 2017 tennis season so far has been what?
Well, for me, definitely seeing, you know, Roger and Rafa coming back after their time off last year. Just seeing them, you know, compete in the, you know, finals of Australia, and now, you know, both of them in the race to become #1. I think so. That's been a big story, and I think, you know, on the other spectrum, definitely seeing Zverev coming through. I mean, you know, quite a lot younger, winning 2 Master Series this year.
So the ideal tennis age now is what?
Yeah, it's interesting.
It might be you.
Yeah, exactly.
31 is like, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's funny how things changed. Definitely 10 years ago, you know, getting to 30s and early 30s was towards the end of the career, but there's been, you know, I think the average age and the amount of guys over 30 and playing the top 100 and playing some of their best tennis is very high, and I think that definitely motivates everybody in the locker room when they're seeing guys doing that.
Are you traveling with your new dog?
Yep, yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice. Traveling with my wife and our little dog, so brings a little bit of life outside of the tennis court, and at the same time, you know, definitely gives me the support to hopefully go out there and continue playing some good tennis.
You've got support from a whole bunch of human beings too.
Thank you, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, appreciate
Thank you.
it.